A property generating less revenue per square foot than off-strip locals' casinos. A hotel where guest satisfaction scores ranked dead last among strip properties, and a sale process that lasted longer than some marriages. Circus Circus wasn't just behind the times, it was operating in a completely different century, while Vegas moved into the luxury era. This is where Vegas's family-friendly experiment ended. This is where a strip legend became a strip liability. This is where we learned that in Vegas, adapt or die isn't just advice, it's mathematical certainty. I've analyzed casino financial reports for over a decade, witnessed strip properties rise and fall from the inside, and seen the internal documents that show exactly how Circus Circus lost its way. What I'm about to share is based on Nevada Gaming Control Board filings, industry performance data, and documented sale attempts spanning nearly a decade. Some of this information casino executives prefer stays buried, but the numbers don't lie about what happens when properties refuse to evolve. If you own prime strip real estate today and can't find a buyer, you're not facing market conditions. You're facing a property so fundamentally broken that even billionaires won't touch it. Circus Circus generates approximately $127 per square foot annually, while strip competitors average $400 to $600 per square foot. Guest satisfaction scores consistently rank in the bottom 5% of strip properties. Since 2015, Vegas has shifted entirely to luxury tourism, leaving family-friendly properties stranded in a market that no longer exists. Here is what we are going to cover. I am going to walk you through 5 specific factors that destroyed Circus Circus's value. I will explain why each decision was catastrophic, what the ownership tried to hide, and why this property became unsellable despite sitting on some of the most valuable real estate in America. In a moment, I am going to reveal the exact moment Phil Ruffin realized he owned a $1.2 billion property that was actually worthless. Circus Circus built its identity around family entertainment when Vegas was transitioning to adult luxury tourism. This fundamental misalignment became the first nail in its coffin. According to Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority data, family visitation to Vegas dropped 40% between 2000 to 2020. While this demographic shift was happening, Circus Circus doubled down on its identity, maintaining carnival games and circus acts while competitors built high-end shopping and Michelin-starred restaurants. But here is where the trap gets even worse. Every dollar spent on maintaining the circus theme was a dollar not invested in the luxury amenities that modern Vegas visitors expect. This created a widening gap between guest expectations and what Circus Circus delivered. In 2018, while Circus Circus spent $2 million renovating the Midway, Wynn Las Vegas invested $2.4 billion in encore expansion. The results speak for themselves. Circus Circus's average daily rate remained under $60, while Wynn's exceeded $300. The fix would have required abandoning the circus theme entirely and investing $500+ million in complete property transformation. But that investment simply couldn't be justified based on the property's performance. But the family-friendly problem was just the beginning. The real disaster was happening in the property's physical infrastructure. Circus Circus deferred major maintenance and renovations for over 2 decades, while strip standards evolved dramatically. This neglect created a property that felt increasingly out of place among its gleaming neighbors. Nevada Health Department records show repeated violations for elevator maintenance, HVAC systems, and guest room conditions. The property's last major renovation was completed in 1993, a lifetime ago in Las Vegas terms. But here is where the deterioration became catastrophic. Each year of deferred maintenance exponentially increased the cost of bringing the property to modern standards. What might have been a $100 million renovation in 2000 became a $500 million necessity by 2010, and an $800 million impossibility by 2020. Industry estimates suggest Circus Circus would need $800 million to $1.2 billion in renovations to meet current strip standards. Meanwhile, the entire property was valued at only $825 million in recent sale attempts. The math simply doesn't work. The fix would have required closing sections of the property for 18 to 24 months and investing more than the property was worth. No rational business would make that investment. But even if they had fixed the physical problems, there was a deeper issue destroying the property's value. Circus Circus generates a fraction of the revenue per square foot compared to modern strip properties. This efficiency metric is what casino executives lose sleep over. And Circus Circus's numbers are nightmare fuel. According to gaming revenue reports, Circus Circus generates approximately $127 per square foot annually. Comparable strip properties generate $400 to $600 per square foot. What's even more damning is that off-strip locals casinos often outperform Circus Circus in revenue efficiency. But here is where the math becomes impossible. The property occupies 68 acres of prime strip frontage, but generates revenue like a suburban locals casino. That's real estate malpractice on an epic scale. In 2022, Circus Circus generated approximately $290 million in total revenue across 68 acres. The Cosmopolitan generated $1.8 billion across 8.7 acres the same year. The disparity is so extreme it defies conventional casino business models. The fix would require completely reimagining the property's use of space and target demographic, which brings us to our next problem. But the revenue problem was just a symptom of a much larger issue. Circus Circus was trapped in the wrong market entirely. Before I continue, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe and tell me in the comments. Have you ever stayed at a casino that felt completely outdated compared to its competitors? Circus Circus lost all relevance as Vegas shifted from family destination to luxury adult playground. The property's brand positioning became not just outdated but actively repellent to the high-value visitors Vegas now courts. Las Vegas visitor demographics show the average tourist now spends $827 per trip, with 78% of spending on non-gaming amenities. Circus Circus visitors spend an average of $827 per trip, with $7,847 per visit, with minimal non-gaming revenue. Yet this isn't just underperformance, it's operating in an entirely different economy. But here is where the market shift became fatal. Vegas stopped marketing to families entirely, leaving Circus Circus without a target demographic. The city's promotional materials showcase nightclubs, celebrity chef restaurants, and luxury experiences, none of which Circus Circus offers. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority eliminated family-focused marketing campaigns in 2019. Tourism shifted to conventions, bachelor parties, and luxury experiences, none of which Circus Circus could accommodate. The fix would have required abandoning 50 years of brand identity and completely repositioning the property. But rebranding isn't enough when the physical property no longer meets basic expectations. But even with all these problems, the most shocking part was watching Phil Ruffin desperately try to sell a property nobody wanted. Phil Ruffin has been trying to sell Circus Circus since 2015 with no serious buyers despite prime strip location. This represents an unprecedented situation in modern Vegas history. Prime strip frontage that can't find a buyer. The property was officially listed for sale in 2019 at $1.2 billion, with multiple price reductions occurring with no legitimate offers. Industry sources report Ruffin considered demolition and land sale by 2023, an admission that the property had negative value. But here is where the situation became unprecedented. Prime strip real estate became worthless because the existing improvements were liabilities, not assets. The buildings and infrastructure that should add value instead subtract from the land's worth. Potential buyers calculated that purchasing Circus Circus plus required renovations would cost $2+ billion. Building a new property on the same land would cost approximately $1.5 billion. The existing structures had negative value. They're worth less than nothing. The only viable fix appears to be complete demolition and redevelopment, which Ruffin cannot afford. The property is trapped in a downward spiral where it can't generate enough revenue to fund its own salvation. Now let me tie all of this together with something casinos absolutely do not want you to understand. Every single factor I just described, deferred maintenance, market shifts, revenue decline, unsellable status, is completely legal and represents normal business risk. There's no conspiracy here, just the cold mathematics of casino economics. Casinos are businesses that must evolve or die. And Circus Circus represents what happens when a property refuses to adapt to changing markets for over 2 decades. It's Darwinian capitalism at its most ruthless. Let me close with this. I've analyzed casino failures for years, but Circus Circus represents something unique. A property that died while still operating. I've seen properties struggle with competition, economic downturns, and regulatory changes, but I've never seen a strip property become literally worthless while sitting on prime real estate. This is unprecedented in modern Vegas history. If you're investing in casino properties or Vegas real estate, Understand that location alone means nothing if the improvements don't match market expectations. Circus Circus proves that even strip frontage can become worthless when properties refuse to evolve. The 5 factors are documented in public. Now you know why prime real estate can become unsellable. I want to hear from you. Have you ever stayed at Circus Circus? Did you notice the decline? Leave a comment and share your experience. And if you want more analysis of casino failures and strip property values, subscribe to this channel. My next video is going to reveal which other strip properties are following the same dangerous path. This analysis is based on public financial records and industry reports. Circus Circus remains operational as of 2024, though sale attempts continue. The property's struggles represent broader challenges facing older casino properties in evolving markets. If you found this analysis valuable, share it with anyone interested in casino business or Vegas real estate. The numbers don't lie about what happens when properties stop adapting to their markets.